record that whole screen. And it does a pretty good job. I've spoken in our boardroom and recorded the computer. It doesn't record my body, but it'll catch most of my voice, and it'll catch the lesson. The idea is that those inclusion kids, they need to be able to hear it again, okay? Because they just can't get it the first time. And if you can do the same thing if you got one of those little digital microphones or digital recorders. You can get them for pretty much next to nothing now off of eBay because they're just not as popular as they once were, and you can use that to record as well. So we're going to go ahead and we'll run that and see if you just keep an eye on that, Ms. Gavina. All right, so how many of you have rules in your school that really restrict the use of the kids' personal devices? Just show hands. Phones, mostly? Yeah, I see the looks, yeah. We have that rule too. How many of you have the policy where they can have whatever they want as long as it's not disrupting school and they have to keep it in their pocket or away? Where are you are?
Nelson.
Nelson? Nelson, where are you?
Hinds County School District.
Really?
Yes, we do have a BYOD.
For phones or devices?
For phones as well.
You know, that's really funny because my kids go to Scouts out there and they will complain that some of their schools say they can see it in their backpack.
As long as, no, you have to have it within transition, you cannot have that phone out.
Maybe that's it.
However, in the classroom, the teachers are utilizing that.
Yeah, because that good thing is on everybody's phone for free.
Absolutely.
Why do you have to buy classroom friends free? Okay. So, but the idea is that we are going to have to start as educators changing our mindset and changing how we view those devices. I view it as a free tool, okay? But we're still hung up on the fact that they're not paying attention to what they're doing. So at that point in time, what is the issue with the kids being on their phone in class? Is it a problem with the phone, or what's the problem with that?
Depends on what they're using it for.
What is it?
They'll film things going on.
Okay. Filming is a violation of everybody's policy.
Right.
So if they do it, what should the consequence be for a child videoing a class when he shouldn't be? It's about, right, but still, well, see, that's the issue. One of the things that we focus on we do it in our district as well. We focus on the device instead of focusing on the behavior. So, but we don't allow it either. We don't allow it either. You can have a sign that says it's during class, you can use it, but we don't either. So I don't have a good answer for it. I don't. It's a classroom, it's a nationwide issue right now. So
A lot of times you think they're working on classroom work, they're doing watching videos or listening.
Yes, they are.
Texting each other.
Yes, they are. We're gonna have to figure that out as educators. It's so new to us. We just have to figure out a way to do it. Yeah, there's gonna be some kind of convergence where we're all gonna figure it out. Because at the end of the day, the parents are gonna insist that those kids have that device because nobody has a home phone anymore. And when the kid gets off the bus, they need the phone. So I don't know. Yes, ma'am.
This is my first year at Nettleton, and the school I came from, it was like no cell phones. Or they could have it in their backpack, but they couldn't have it out there. If you saw it, you took it up. And I noticed some teachers have gotten a good idea. Some of the other SPED teachers I teach with, they have a place for them to put their phones. It's like a shoe rack, like we do with graphic calculators, and they put them in there. Then if they do need them to do something interactive with the teacher, they can get them quickly, and it's not a lot of shuffling.
I've seen that in several classes. A class where they're allowed, in school districts where they're allowed, they'll do that shoe rack thing. And they put it in a really prominent place so nobody can slip over there and, yeah. Yes, ma'am.
But when you're supposed to include assistive technology,
I know.
it's a catch-22.
Well, they're all gonna have to have
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so anyway, that's another argument, that's another discussion, for another day, okay? But the idea is, all of those fall into, is it a help or is it an hindrance thing? When you're trying to teach the kid and they're watching a YouTube video or texting their friend, it's an hindrance. But when you're trying to let them listen to the audiobook that's the summer reading, and you don't have anything else, it's definitely a help. So, I mean, there's both sides. Okay, so everything we're going to show you today is free. All right. Okay. Yeah. I don't want to do that, but probably right down low. Okay. There's got to be a way to be a fine happy medium. We're going to show you everything that's free. Most of the stuff does have a paid option, but most of it's pretty free. All right, we're going to talk about applications versus browser extensions and plugins. Plugins are kind of sliding out, and browser extensions and helpers are kind of sliding in. We're going to talk about letting the technology do what it does best, showing and telling. Okay? You are the teacher, you are the adult. I'm a Star Trek nerd. Even in Star Trek, there's always an adult teacher, a person teaching the kids. Okay? So we really want the technology to help you by doing the things that are difficult for you to do. For example, listening to the kid read, or helping the kid read a passage that they need to learn to read independently. When you've got 10 kids and they're all on a different level. Okay? So let it do that. It also allows kids with different learning styles. If they don't get it, my kid doesn't get it by reading, but he does do well by hearing. So it allows you to do those kinds of different things to help those kids. And don't forget keyboarding. I got to tell you, how many, is anybody in elementary school? And most of y'all secondary people? Elementary. Are y'all teaching keyboarding now?
I'm retired, I volunteer, but we were when I was working.
Yeah.
They were part of the skill that they needed because all of the state tests are computerized. They have to really.
This year, they're going to have to type as they go. And if you think about some of these kids with some of these disabilities, they're going to have a hard time. They're going to have a really hard time if they don't get a chance to practice. So don't forget the keyboarding. There's 25,000 applications on the web. Just Google free keyboarding online. You'll have 50 applications. In our district, we pay for one for the upper elementary grades, and then we just use the free ones for the lower elementary grades. We weren't clever, they can log in, and it makes everything real easy. But don't forget, it is important because they need to have extra practice. All right, so let's talk about screen readers and audiobooks. Okay. Most of you, it was about 50-50 to 75% of you had said that you were familiar with screen readers and audiobooks, which is great because that's one of the things we're going to talk about is the availability and the options. Whoop, I'm touching my computer like something's going to happen. Okay, how many of you have schools where they have an Overdrive subscription or some sort of kind of online ebook subscription service? Through the library, yeah, through the library. How many of you live in Hinds or Madison County? No? Okay. Okay. I dare say that I've only experienced those two counties in terms of public libraries, but both of them have very nice library collections. I saw the Mississippi Library Commission is downstairs, and they were talking about their audiobooks, right? That you had a chance you can borrow. Now, the public libraries both have ways for you or your kids to check out books. In Hinds County, they even have a special library card that a kid can get. It's a no-fine library card. So they can fill it out and get a library card without having to have a parent, and if they lose the book, the library just says, okay, baby, I'm sorry you lost the book. They're not going to charge the parent for the book anymore. So everybody can get a library card. This is Madison County library system because that's kind of where I live now. And what you can do is you can do a couple of things. This is one of the summer reading books in our district, Wonder. Has anybody read Wonder? If you have not read Wonder, we must go today and read it. He what? Oh, I know. I'm so excited. It is a great book. You will cry a river, but it is just a fabulous book. It is just a fabulous book. But the thing is my child and a lot of these kids who have difficulty reading, they are still required to read this summer reading book. Okay? And I am a proponent of paper and learning to read on paper. There is a lot of research now that's talking about the difference between reading on an electronic device and learning to read a book. How do your eyes track when you learn to read a book on paper? How do your eyes track? Yeah. Left to right, top to bottom. What happens to kids who are learning to read on a device? How do their eyes track? You know? They don't go here. They're starting to do more of this. And then jump up to the top because they're used to those web pages where they have the different things. And so there's starting to be some research backtrack saying, you know what, we really need to keep these kids with paper and pencil, learning to track properly, left to right, top to bottom. Okay? All right, but this is Wonder. And the idea is that this is just a plain old library book, and the library did not have the audiobook for that. Okay? They just didn't have it available. It wasn't in their subscription. but I want my kid to be able to get some help with reading this book, okay? Now, an iPad has assistive technology built in. Has anybody ever used the screen reader on the iPad? Couple people? Okay, good. Inside of the settings, the general settings, okay, you have all kinds of accessibility options, all right? You've got voiceover, zooms, you've got touch, you've got all of these different, and I don't turn them all on because sometimes they kind of get in the way. If you have them all turned on and you're trying to use it like I'm trying to use it. But you've got all kinds of things to help kids who have issues with touch. You've got all kinds of things that can help kids with size of text, background of text in terms of having black text on white paper versus white paper on black text. Or not, I'm sorry, the other way around. Yeah, so it's reversed. Or having a beige background, because there's some research on that too. So there's tons and tons of stuff out there that you can do for that. So, but the idea is that once you turn it on, it will read anything on the page, okay? So all you do is swoop down with 2 fingers, and it will start to read. And I'm going to have to unplug it because, believe it or not, it kills the audio when you plug it in.
Tips and secrets. Overview.
Okay, I'm going to skip ahead. We'll go back to the beginning.
And it's the voice over.
It's text-to-speech accessibility, and all of the operating systems have it. And they call it TTS sometimes, but it's text-to-speech. And there are free apps for all of the platforms. Voice is a free app.
Right.
It will also read web pages as well as any text that's on the
Correct.
screen.
The 2 swoopies, I call it 2 swoopy fingers on an iPad will read anything on the screen. Yes, ma'am.
Are they any better at reading Adobe stuff now?
The Adobe thing is hard because it's not the problem with the reader itself. It's a problem with the way the PDF was generated by the software. And that's been a real, like, we're having that whole battle in our district now because we're pulling a lot of PDFs because they just, unless you set it, you know what you're doing, you set it up correctly, it misses stuff and it jumps around. So I think what you'll see is a couple things. I think that more and more people are going to start steering away from PDFs and more to putting the actual just text, clear text on the page. And also people are getting better. Like they're training my computer lab all week this week on teaching people how to make all of their stuff compliant. Their PDFs, how to use the Word correctly, using accessibility check in Word, and how to do it in the PDF creator. So yeah, that's more of it is an ongoing issue, but it's more of a reader than the document. But anyway.
Could you tell me again what the series were?
It's under text, accessibility, yeah, and then there's voice, speech, and then you've got speak screen, and you've got all those speech, it's all on those pages. But you can change the voice. My son likes the British guy.
Actually, the British has more, it does the voices and actually reads the text better because it has a much clearer algorithm than
He likes it.
US English.
But just real quick, I popped it off. I popped it off. Okay, y'all got the gist of it.
Search.
Now I've got my screen sideways, but y'all got the gist of it. That is machine read, okay? And it's not nearly as good as a person reading. But again, the audio didn't exist for it. Now this particular thing, because this is a library book, this is an actual book, it's much harder just for an ordinary person to get a readable copy. So like somebody like the Library Commission, they have access to a lot of audio companions that you can buy the audio book to go along with it. But I'm not going to buy a $20 audio book for everything that I have. So and he doesn't, and it's not necessarily that they read it for the whole book. It's just that they have the opportunity to listen when it's helpful for them. So let's see if that's going to pop back up there. Come on. Sometimes when I unplug, it fights it. There we go. Okay. So the other thing that's always available in the public libraries, which is totally obvious, are the audiobooks. Oh, I want to show you one more thing. This is the new Overdrive. Overdrive is a really popular, really popular service for buying library books. But the one thing that I do like about it too is it's got options to change your reading settings. You know, we talked about the backgrounds. You can change the background color because a lot, there's as you know, there's a lot of research out there that talks about the background, and it's more of a yellow tone. It's hard to see in the projector, but it's more of a yellow tone, and it gives them the opportunity to kind of change that to what's comfortable for them. They can change it to dark as well. What just happened? I don't know. Oh, come on. There we go. So now it's black, which, you know, it is what it is. But we're going to go back to bright just so I can see that. But the other thing that's now, you've got this. Are y'all familiar with this open dyslexic font? The Overdrive has added this open dyslexic font. And it will, if you notice, it gives you more spaces and it gives you a different outline of each of the letters. You can actually go and download the font packs now for Word and different things. So that if you have a kid where they're really struggling with the serifs and the non-serifs, a lot of times the little humpy things on the letters are helpful because it slows them down and it makes their eyes focus more on the letters. So, and that's built into Overdrive, so you can just hit that and turn that on or off. And that's just a very easy thing to do. The other thing that's obvious is audiobooks. And again, this was not a summer reading book this year, but it was one that we've had in the past years. And I'm not going to listen to it because it's just an audiobook. But if you get the actual audiobook from a library or from an Overdrive subscription, then you hear the actual person reading it. It's a live individual, a human being. And what's nice about that is if you can communicate with your library media people, they're selecting what to put in their collections of Overdrive. If you haven't, or your public library is doing the same thing, and because libraries fall under me, they're supposed to be asking you what you need for your library. So if you know, as an exceptional education or inclusion teacher, that you have summer reading books that your kids have to read, you need to request from your librarian that they get the audiobook companions for those books and give those kids the opportunity to hear and see the text. Okay? And those are all, and this is free. This is a free audiobook from the public library. Audible has subscriptions, but you got to pay for that. You know, and I'm cheap, and I work for the public schools, and I'm not paying for that. So we go to the library at my house because everything there. Ma'am?
Madison has a bunch of audio.
They do, and they have them by genre, so you can find something that's appropriate for the kiddos. That makes it really nice.
Central Mississippi Library System also has what they call Access 360. They have a subscription through there where you can get a library card and both the audiobooks as well as the
And that's the Central Mississippi.
Central Mississippi Library Systems. That's Rankin Scott,
Okay.
Simpson.
They just lump together like a consortium type.
Yeah, that's.
They probably have those in the room. Yes, ma'am.
Throw another one out there, Amazon, if you have Prime, or
Yes.
even if you just purchase from Amazon, they do run a lot of audiobooks for free.
They do, and exactly, and they do free Audible times. Like you can get Audible free for a month from Amazon Prime. And I'm not suggesting that it would be, you know, it's technically illegal to, you know, do things, but you know, to have the capture and audio to stream through your computer, that would be illegal, but you know. Okay. That would be horribly, horribly, horribly illegal. Okay, we are going to run way out of time. Okay, so just briefly, we are going to run way out of time. I knew this was going to happen. Okay, let's talk about text to speech. Okay, to be honest with you, I am a fan of a couple different ones, and I'm going to pull this one up here. This one already has it loaded. It's called Mercury Reader. It used to be Readability. Does anybody have that one? It's now Mercury Reader. So, but what it does is it takes away the distractions from articles and things on the internet. So I pulled up the CNN website, and I'm going to cancel this one and find, ma'am? It's called Mercury Reader. It's called Mercury Reader. I'm just going to pick one. I'm not, just news, okay? Just news, all right? And what the Mercury Reader does is when you click the extension, and it is a Chrome extension, it's up right there in the top. See the little rocket ship? It's that Mercury Reader. And you'll notice what it did was it took out all of the ads and it took out all of the extraneous pictures and things like that from the page. So if you need the kid to read an article, they can just, it'll help you. You can just go ahead and put that on the machine for them and sit them down and let them read it. Okay? News ELA does the same thing, but that's that service you have to pick their article. You have to wait for an article to be in there that you need, versus if you're doing current events or if your kid's in a geography class or they're having to do a current event article. It's right there. Now at that point, then you can turn on whatever screen reader you like. I am a fan of the Read and Writes company, the Text Help folks. Is anybody familiar with that company? Text Help, and it's on the side. Text Help is a company. They are a full certified Uber Google partner. And they make all of these different applications that will run through Chrome applications or Chrome extensions, and all of them are integrated into all of the Google systems. Most of them require payments to get the full meal deal. I'm just going to be honest with you. But the screen reader is really good and it's really fast. And it does something that's really, and it's easy for the kids to find because it's this little purple puzzle piece, and it's easy for them to see. So at this point, all I have to do is hit play, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to unplug this and see if it'll play through it. It's probably not. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to close. Let's do this. Because this little bubbly thing here is nice because you can highlight.
Read and Write for Google Chrome.
Come on. Play. Play. Let's see. See if it'll pick it up now. What's going on with my read write? Come on, let's read write me. All right, so I'm gonna hit my rocket again. Let's try it one more time. I've never had any trouble with read write. It's one of the things I like about it. It just works. It just works. Come on. Yeah, and then it. I think it's just because it's running the audio through the HDMI, and I just think, come on. I'm just trying to see if that's going to kick it off. On a Windows machine, you have to put sometimes switch the audio around, but it shouldn't be fun on a Mac. I'm a Mac person. Don't fail me now, Mac. Come on.
Play.
There it goes. I know that's play, but you're not reading. Oh well, I'm not going to fuss with it. It may be because I'm in Mercury. But you get, we'll read another one and see if it's just acting up. I've unplugged this to start off with. If y'all have a car and you have your Bluetooth phone and then you plug it in and it doesn't come through the car speaker anymore, it's all related to all of that kind of nonsense. But anyway, all right. But the one that strips the articles is Mercury. Okay, and I'm gonna leave that up there so I can use it again. We'll see if it'll work. Okay, so that's Mercury, and that's a really, really nice one. Grammarly, is anybody familiar with Grammarly? My kids love Grammarly. Yes. Everybody uses Grammarly. I put it up here because it's an oldie but a goodie. It's kind of like Wahoo. It's an oldie but a goodie. The free one is enough. Okay, the free one is enough. The older one, he wants me to pay for it, and I just keep telling him he has a job. Let him pay for himself. Text Help, like I said, Text Help is another one. They have a whole bunch of stuff. It's not, they have an actual math program that they've just released that but that's their market is legibility, accessibility, specifically for dyslexic kids, okay? And they've got all kinds of different applications. If there is a local person, she'll be at Mecca. She's not local, she's in Louisiana, but she'll be at Mecca if you want to talk to her. If you just go along and fill out a contact us form. But they have all kinds of goodies. They have things that speak, things that record, things that do math for you. They got all those nifty little things, okay? But that's Read and Write. Oh, Lord, reading time. Okay. Ginger, I like a lot. I'm going to go ahead and get this one up here. Let's see if we'll get Read and Write to read this one. Let's see. Come on, baby girl. Read for me.
Students who
There
have
we
not
go.
attained the district speed and accuracy goals for grades 4-5 should be given additional opportunities to practice keyboarding for up to an additional 15 minutes per week.
Okay, that's read and
Students
write.
should be given monthly assignments in core
All right, what I
content
like
areas.
about so that's read and write. It's cooperating a little bit better. I think it just didn't like that Mercury, and I know it reads in there. I don't know why it just was not cooperating. But anyway, you'll see how it hangs in Google Doc. This is a Google Doc. See how it hangs right there? It makes it really easy for the kids to see. The other thing that I'm going to talk about real briefly are these add-ons. All right, who's a Google district? Who's using Google Suite, Google Apps for Education? That's it. Does everybody have some Microsoft thing? Not using Microsoft? Okay. Google has add-ons for things that are really, really nice. Mindmeister, this one over here, these are the text highlighting tools. This is just another one. What's nice about it is if you color everything, this is an add-on I just left on. If you color everything pink, it'll gather up all the pinks and put it, so the kid has a long document to read. Then, you know how they like to highlight like everything? If you can encourage them to not highlight quite so much, you can gather them all together and you can take all those things and put them in another document for their notes. So they don't end up just highlighting an entire document and printing that. Okay? All right, and that's a nice one. That's a text help one from that same company. That's that text help study skills. Mindmeister is really nice. What Mindmeister does is, how many of you know that your kids have trouble organizing their thoughts? Yeah, and so they have an article or a story to read, a short story to read, and they need to do something. They have to either summarize it or they have to synthesize the main idea of it, right? What Mindmeister does, Mindmeister, what it'll do is it will create, based on what you select, and I'm just going to select something, it will select for you, it will create this little mind map form. Okay, and there it is. Can y'all see that? We'll make that a little bigger. And I'll get rid of this so you can see the screen. Okay, so you see what it's done? It's gone ahead and just created a mind map form. And I just highlighted some text, so don't, that would be a really bad example. But that gives them an idea of how their thoughts are organized. And that's a free add-on. You just stick it into Google Docs, and it'll hang in there forever, okay? And that's Mindmeister. Ginger I like a lot. Ginger's another proofing thing. I have a lot of things in here that'll help your kids learn how to read. So Ginger it looks like this. And you can either highlight, it'll sit, sentence. Okay? And I plugged everything back in, so it's going to act up. It'll read it, it'll define it, it'll give you synonyms, it'll give you all, and it'll sit right there on the side. It'll connect, if your kids are filling out forms online, you can let it run in the background, and it'll spell check what they're filling in your form. And that's Ginger, and that's really a nice one. All right. Okay, we talked about Mercury Reader. Lucidchart is just, that's a Chrome app. One of the things that is Chrome is it's difficult to find apps in Chrome. Y'all notice they took away the little app launcher thing that used to be on your desktop. But if you look at that, see that little URL right there, Chrome / apps. If you keep that bookmarked, you see how it makes that little appy thing right there on my toolbar, on my bookmark bar? That's the same URL for everybody. If you're logged into Chrome and you put that little bookmark right there, you can keep up with all of your little apps. These are all of my little apps that I use. Voice Note is a recorder. It does all those great things. Okay? Okay. Really quickly, I know I'm running out of time. I think I went over my slideshow. That wasn't too smart, was it? But because it's Google, it remembered. We love Google, it remembered. Okay. I made everything too big. I'm going to make it smaller again so I can see. Okay. Let's see. Okay. These are all these goodies. These are generics. These are things that are available for your kids just for straight reading comprehension. Things that they need. Everybody's familiar with News ELA. It's an oldie. That's where it hits the lifestyle level, the same article, different lifestyle levels. You log in, it's free, totally free. You can pay for it if you want. Some school districts and schools pay for it, where you can load your kids up there and roster them and give them tests and assignments. But if you're just looking for your kids, if you need things for your kids to practice reading comprehension, especially your upper middle and high school kids who need what? They're tired of reading, go spot go. They need high interest, low level, right? Okay? So those are things, and there I threw a little baby one in there too. Cursive practice, handwriting apps. What I'll do is I'll do a screenshot of all these apps for you because I'm not going to have time to get through them all. These iPads are great because iPads, and I have nothing against Android. I promise I don't. I just don't happen to have one. So I don't, it's unplugged. I don't have the ability to talk about Android as much. I have nothing against it. We have a Kindle Fire at our house, and it's a great little device, and I love it. I got a settlement from Amazon because my kid charged about $600 worth of stuff on it because my husband left his credit card. So we really like them. They're really awesome. But remember we said at the beginning, use it to practice and use it to practice. So there's lots of little free handwriting apps out there, especially for cursive. You know, for younger kids, cursive, it's for those kids that really have an issue. It gives them letters. It gives them all the practice in the world. They can do it over and over again. They can change the letters.
What is this app?
This one is cursive writing. What I'm going to do, since we're running out of time, I'm going to do a screenshot of all of the apps, and I'll put it in the slides for you.
Okay, put it on that side.
I'll put it on that side, so you'll have a screenshot of everything. So you don't have to try to go back and remember, because I've got about 4 or 5 of them on here. That's another one for practice. It'll run you through the alphabet, and they can just sit there all day long and go through the alphabet. This one's not real sophisticated. But it does enough, and it doesn't cost anything. It's not horribly obtrusive. Some of them, that's not the one. Some of them do have words in them. Let's see. I don't think I put, oh, there it is. Okay. This one has where you can put in words, and they can trace words. So they can start learning how to connect the letters. Okay. And this one is... what's the name of this one? I'll have to go back and look, and I can't see because the ad. This is what you get rid of when you pay the $1.99. You get rid of the ads, but I don't pay for anything. The ads are never anything that's going to be horribly offensive to anybody because they're educational apps. But the kids can sit there and they can practice all day long and twice on Sundays. There are devices that you can get retail that will work on the touch. So kids who have trouble, they need more of a gripper, like a pencil or a pen. They can write on the pad. You just have to find those. Those are specific to accessibility. Those things I said I wasn't going to get a whole lot into, but they do exist. Just like your smartboard. You can touch your smartboard with one of those little fingers. They make styluses and things that you can buy to write on the iPads. They also, the expensive iPads also have that built-in script with the pen, the little pens that come with them. I just look at that as another thing that my kid's going to lose. And then I have to go to the Apple store and pay $59.99 to get a new one of, because that seems to be how much everything costs there. Okay? I want to skip ahead to this one really fast just because it's one of my favorites. My kid has had trouble with math forever. And I had a pen here, and I ate it. And mainly because he doesn't want me to help him. He doesn't want anybody to help him because he knows things. He's smarter than everybody else. He has a brain. He tells me that on a daily basis. And so I said, okay, well, if you won't let us check your homework, and you want to check your homework, you have to check it somehow. And this is a little app that you can use. Now, I know you can't see whatever. I just wrote an equation. So if you have an equation for homework, it says 4x plus 4 equals 16. And this is photo math, and if I just take this, and I hold it, if I can do it on this little thingy here. Hold it, I'm going to try to get this in here. If I hold it over the screen so it can get it all, it's probably dark in here, come on. There it goes. It got 4x plus 4 equals 16, 14, my handwriting is horrible, and I'm going to go with that because it's a little dark in here. Yep, there it is. It's not only going to write the equation for me, then it's going to give me the answer. And it's going to give me, this one is called Photo Math. You can write that one down. Photo, P-H-O-T-O, it's in there. This one's Photo Math. It gives you all the good stuff. It gives you all the stuff I don't think about X and Y and stuff anymore. And now it's not going to do calculus, okay? But for any average middle school student who is trying to get through regular 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade math, it's more than enough. It'll do addition, it'll do subtraction, it'll do multiplication. When your kid's writing on paper, it's easier to fit in that little box.
It will do some geometry and algebra.
Yeah, if you're good at drawing the shapes. Yeah, I'm not so good with the shapes.
The kids have figured it out.
Oh, they figured it out? Do they have somebody who's really good doing theirs?
You know, if it's going to give them the answer, they'll figure it out.
It is amazing, isn't it, how they do that? Okay? All right, so really quick, that's Photo Math. I've listed all the accessibility pages. On the Mac, if you ever want to have anything read on a Mac, all you really have to do is turn it on. And that's speech. You just have to kind of turn it on and let it read. I'm gonna do the speech real quick. I've got so much junk on, it's probably gonna fuss at me. Let's do a Word document so it won't fuss at me. Okay. So this is I'm just gonna turn this on real quick. This is text to speech on a Mac. There it goes. Period. Enter. I didn't tell. I don't have the commands on because it annoys me. Okay? William Shakespeare was a great writer. I've got my head turned. Whoop. There you go. Period. Okay? I like a map for that. There's an app. It'll do the same thing on iPad. It's a little clunkier. But when you do it on here, then it gives them the opportunity to edit the document in a realistic setting. I have a Windows device. If you want to hang around, I'll show you how to do it. They have another app that does the same thing. It sits up on top of the screen. You just click the microphone, and it'll record the text, everything that they say. And it works really well. It will work in Google Docs. They both work in Google Docs. It doesn't care where it's typed. Okay? All right. Okay. But I do have all of the accessibility guidelines. Everything that I showed you on how to turn it on here, I have the link to how you turn it on at each one of the devices. These Chromebooks, how many of you have your schools are investing in Chromebooks now? Okay? Do you know how to turn the accessibility functions on there? All right, I got the link for you. All right? I will say this, you may want to set it ahead of time. But the thing about the Chromebooks is, it's all of it. If the kids are logging in as themselves, all of the things and extensions that you turned off for them will follow them. So it'll have the screen reader for them, and it'll have the read-write text, and it'll have the Grammarly and all that other stuff already set for them. So that's just kind of one of those ammunition things when they want you to be generic. But there's all of the links. Is anybody familiar with the dyslexia site of the University of Michigan? It's up here. The link is live, so you'll have it. They have hundreds of links to apps. Sometimes they get a little stale, but if you're ever looking for an app, and they put the cost for every one of them, if it's free or how much it costs. So if you ever are looking for an app, they do have a great site. Don't forget organization stuff. My kid is horribly disorganized. Most special education children are not horribly organized, particularly ones with ADD, ADHD, dyslexia. That's a struggle for them. Remember the milk now? You can snip things, you can cut things, you can make big notepads full of stuff and reminders. Calendar, same thing. Teach these kids to use the calendar on every device. If that's the only thing they use, teach them to use a calendar. They can write on here when things are due, when they're supposed to be places, what time they're, so they'll start to get those audible reminders of when and where they're supposed to be places. Okay? Basic math stuff. Sushi Monster is another one of my favorites. Has anybody ever played Sushi Monster? It's really a very, very, very basic app, and to be honest with you, it's getting less and less free stuff on that particular one. They got bought out by Hope Mifflin. And so, if that helps you understand how come things are getting less and less free, they're doing less and less for free. But what it does is it makes you have to put things together backwards. So, come on, there you go. And this little Sushi Monster comes out, and you have to put the sum. It's part of the fact they've incorporated the Fast Math series. Fast Math costs a lot of money. So they bought this and stuck it in there, so I'm sure it'll go away soon. But you just have to take the things that equal 12. So you have to do 4 and 8, and then it would go to, and then you got 23 up at the top. You got 23 up at the top there. You have to put the numbers together. That's a nice one for little kids. Anything that does regurgitation of facts for kids, multiplication facts, is great for them. Okay. Real quick, I am going to go ahead and skip back here. Stop my Camtasia. Okay.